Probably not the best way to do it, but I basically just forced that piece on. Okay, well, a spot we've found ourselves in way too many times. So, I'm not sure how much of the last video got messed up or lost or I didn't even film. Another one of those. I got frustrated. I came up and I put the brand new carburetor on and went to start the motor and didn't want to start, and then I look over and there's gas leaking out of the same place from the last carburetor. Now this carburetor is just brand new out of the box, never been run, so the flow's not stuck. So I'm like, all right, what is going on here? So I'm trying to lift it to see where the fuel is coming out, why it's coming out. It turned out it was leaking out of the base. Now we know the flow can't be stuck. So what helped me narrow this down is I couldn't really see real well. In fact, I'm waiting on my glasses again. But I went down to the shop, got my magnifying glass and a flashlight, and I came all the way back up here. Now, that's a pretty decent trip down there to get that stuff and back up. We're talking several minutes. And I get back up here and it is still pouring out of the side of the carburetor. So what it made me think is the carburetor wasn't the problem. I put that brand new marine expensive fuel pump on there, and the pressure's got to be too high, because like I pulled that carburetor off, the intake, everything on the top of this motor was completely flooded with gas, and even after going all the way down there, coming all the way back up, it's still pushing gas through that carburetor. And after all that, I pulled this line and it actually shot gas out of there. Like, it shouldn't have done that. Alright, so we're up here again with another change of plan. I started to put the new fuel pump on, and I pulled it off and decided to put it back on, and instead of replacing it, as I was just going to replace it with a standard old fuel pump. But the thing is a marine fuel pump is double sealed, and of course I ran into the same fitting problem. So yeah, instead of doing that, and in case, like, if I ever have to replace it again, I don't want to have to be dealing with, I need a special this or special that. So what I got now is a pressure regulator, and this regulates it from 5 to 7. To make sure we put this on right. This is the in and this is the out. It's marked on the back. The other thing we're going to do while we're doing that is splice in the fuel flow sensor. Now, this one was hard to see. I looked all over, but there is an arrow on top showing which way it needs to flow. Because this line here runs so close to this wall, which is where that line's going to go, I'm going to cut it like right in here. So the first thing we're going to do is cut it, put it in the fuel flow sensor, and then the regulator. You know what though? Thinking about that, I want to do that backwards. I want to put this on the other side of the regulator. Makes more sense that way. So yeah, we're going to switch these around. It's been too cold and too rainy to do anything. It's rained the last 2 days and it's been cold. Today is not too bad. The wind makes it suck, but it's nice enough that I could get up here and do something. We're not going to be able to hook this up because one of the problems with this thing, a lot of what they don't tell you, is it doesn't come with the NEMA 2000 starter kit. which is another expensive part you got to factor in. I thought I was getting one fairly cheap. I ordered it off of this China website. That was stupid, so stupid. Because, yeah, I never got it. So, and I've gotten other stuff that I've had to order that should have been here. It's not coming. So what we're gonna do is cut this line somewhere in here. So, as of right now, with that on here, it should run. You got our fuel flow sensor and then the regulator. I just realized that's backwards. How did I do that? That's the way it's supposed to be. I got the pressure regulator and then I have the fuel flow sensor, and they're going the correct direction this time. Why is that sending so much gas through that carburetor? Finally. Okay, so pretty good day. I'm happy this thing is finally running the way it's supposed to. That's it's been getting to me, honestly, depressed me a little bit. It's so frustrating. I knew everything was right, but I just couldn't figure out why. Everything is new. The motor's new, the distributor's new, the carburetor's new, everything is new. Why won't this thing run? So yeah, basically what it was, like I said, when we replaced the distributor, I didn't think there was anything wrong with it, but I just wanted to do it. That way it's new and the coil's new and everything's fine. After I did that, when I tried to start it, it wouldn't start. And I'm like, well, maybe I screwed something up. But it's a lot different when you're trying to diagnose something on something you never really run. Luckily, I had at times started it. If this was my boat and I'm running and I was out on the lake and I took it in and I changed the part and it didn't work, then you pretty much know what that is. When you put everything in new in a boat that you've never run, it's a little bit sketchy sorting everything out. You're not sure what's right because you have no basis to go off of. So anyway, it's all in there. We ran it today. I do have to sort the choke out. The old little spring was worn out or something. It won't open all the way up, but we'll replace that. But I did get it fired up. I put the timing light on it, and this time it was a little retarded. I advanced it just a little bit, not quite to 13 or 14. I think it's about 8 or 9. But yeah, set the timing on it. Everything's good. I shut it off, started it up a couple times. Like I said, I still have an issue with the choke, but it's running and it's good. But I wanted to point that out, the issue that I was having, because I know other people have had that issue, and I actually found a forum where a guy was having a similar issue. Now, it was on a car, but if you tell somebody that you have a problem with your carburetor leaking gas, they're going to tell you the float is stuck, and they're going to argue that the float is stuck, and the only answer you're going to get is the float is stuck. Like I said, I saw it on that forum. The guy was like, I just rebuilt everything and it's doing this. Well, basically that's what it was. The Rochester carburetors generally want around 5 pounds of pressure. Now, I had put a new fuel pump on here. I put an OMC replacement marine fuel pump. And there is a difference in a marine fuel pump and a GM fuel pump. They're double diaphragms so that they don't leak and just leak into the bilge and cause a big fire. I came up the other day and I actually took it off and was going to put on just a regular AC Delco pump. And I stopped myself. For one, I had to have that stupid flare fitting line, which is the same problem I was having on the carburetors. GMs are run with flare fitted steel lines. I was like, you know what, stop. I put it back on and I went and ordered the regulator. I put the regulator on there, the line was on backwards, but I put it on there and I had it set at like 5 or whatever, and it was still shooting a lot of gas when I tried to start it up, so I turned it down to about 3. I'm not saying those things are precise, but 3 is where it worked on mine. It starts, it runs, it's not shooting too much gas, so yeah, hopefully this helps somebody that runs into that in the future. If you're leaking gas, it's not necessary. If you're leaking gas and you've recently changed the fuel pump, that could be your issue. If you haven't changed your fuel pump, then yeah, you probably got a stuck float. But hopefully that helps somebody in the long run. Now I'm just kind of wrapping things up. There is a few more things that I want to do up here. Unfortunately, we're getting into that time of year where it's going to be too cold to do anything up here. We got more 20s coming soon. Like I said, I do have little projects that I want to do, and I will film when I can, if it warms up enough for me to come up here and do some stuff. But yeah, I appreciate everybody who's followed along till this point. Subscribe, like, comment. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'll get you some more content as soon as I can, but understand, I mean, with it being so cold, it ain't gonna be much to see. So thanks, and hope everybody enjoys the holidays.